Merry Christmas time. It's your boy, Michael HeyBower. Some of you call me DonkeyLips, but it's Christmas time, so I'm Santa Lips. How y'all doing on this fine day? Whatever day it is, how y'all doing? I promised you guys a Christmas story from my life because I have to live through memories. I promise you guys a story every week, and I'm going to give you another one this week. I'm actually going to give you two. It's going to be video game related at Christmas time. That's a good subject. But first, I want to tell everybody I love you. Please do me a favor. It sounds really stupid, but it helps. Please hit that thumbs up, that like button, that subscribe button. Consider becoming a member of the channel for a couple of dollars a month. It really helps support me, and you get early and exclusive content, and a lot more is coming in the months ahead. I know I say that all the time, but I've really been putting in a little bit of work behind the scenes trying to build something for this next year. And my podcast is going to come back. What iteration? I don't know. It hasn't really been figured out yet. But I'm going to start doing a podcast again because I need to, and it'll be fun. So please do me that favor. Also, if you'd like to support in other ways, hit the like button. I have donation portals down below. I have a merchandise store if you guys want to buy your family t-shirts, salute your shorts related, get an autographed headshot from me and stuff like that. They're all on my merchandise store, and I'm pretty sure you'll get it before Christmas because the headshots I send out directly, and the t-shirts probably take like 10 days to get it. So you still got time to get it before Christmas. So check out my merchandise store down below. And I have Cameo. That's where I do a shout out, or I tell stories, or I answer questions, or whatever. And I recently sang Christmas songs for somebody, but I did parody versions. I'm sure that'll be online. I had a weird feeling the person that got it from me is going to put it online somewhere or something like that, because it was kind of funny. But it's okay. They tipped me very, very well, so I truly appreciate that. So there you guys go. All that stuff is down below, and anything that pops up down below or is down below is a good thing. That's probably how it looks, actually. Merry Christmas, everybody. All right. Just want to, wow. I just want to update everybody who's been watching my channel. The last couple days I was going out and I've been watching the drone news and information on like New Jersey and other places. And then a couple of days ago I went out and we had drones. I saw at least 3 or 4 of them in my vicinity. And I filmed about a 5-minute video. And then I made that video. Then the next night I filmed another video. You guys don't like you got a crappy camera, fix your camera. Relax. We work, we have to use what we have. That's the blessing. But regardless, I am not one of those people that sky watches and has the professional cameras. But it's just interesting that drones are in a no-fly zone here by the airport, the Burbank North Hollywood Airport. And we have a military reserve right around here as well. And I don't know how the hell these drones, they weren't as big as cars, but I would say like, you know, they were pretty big. I don't know how they were able to fly this close to airports. And so it's just some questions I have, and I like doing stuff like that. All these questions, it's interesting. I'm not going to talk much about that on this video, but I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching those videos and, you know, putting up with me. Because it's just weird. Drones are taking over, y'all. There's something going on. They're testing the technology. They're doing something. I ain't going to call it alien-oriented, but something's going on for the future. They're blaming Iranian drones, Chinese drones. There's going to be some sort of an attack or something, and then they're going to be like, oh, that's what happened with the drones. They got all our secret information. Just had some peanuts. Peanuts like to come out of my mouth while I talk. That should be a meme. Peanuts like to come out of my mouth when I talk. All right, everybody, let's get to my Christmas stories. On the last Christmas story, I told you the story of the little drummer boy, or the drum, with my father and how that played out. Please watch that story if you haven't. Find it from about a week ago. Now, that story was like 1987, 86. This story is going to be, the first one, is going to be 1980 or 1981. A Christmas memory that I'll always remember. So, long story short, it was Christmas Day, or whatever. Christmas. Some people celebrate on Christmas Eve, but we did it on Christmas Day. My mom was still living with my father at the time, and I was like 5 or 6 years of age. And we started opening up our presents, and I opened up, well, we had a joint present, like one big box that was a joint present. And it said, to my brother Buddy and Michael, from Santa. I probably thought it was Santa back then, until my dreams were dashed a few years later when I saw my dad building a bicycle. So I'm sure I believed in Santa back then. Yeah, so the box had to my brother, Buddy, and to me, and we opened it up. And little do you know, it was an Atari. I believe it was the 2600 or the 7600. One of those early ones from like late 1980 or 81. And I was going crazy. I wanted a video game system. I saw the commercials and the advertisements. And I'm like 5, 6 years old. I'm going nuts. Oh my God, I got it! We got Atari! I believe it came with a game. I don't know what game it came with, but there was also a cartridge wrapped up as well. I think we got 2 games that year. And one of them was Donkey Kong. And for some reason, I'm recollecting the game called Adventure or Popeye. I don't think it was Popeye. For some reason, I'm thinking it was Adventure, where you're a little dot and you go on like a quest. But I believe those were the 2 games we were bought that year. It might have been Popeye and Donkey Kong because they were popular. But I know it was Donkey Kong, and it might have been Adventure. I do remember getting that game early. Then, of course, I got E.T. and Star Wars, a couple years later, or whatever the case may be, and those games didn't really pan out. And then I bought Pitfall somewhere in the lifespan of the Atari. Pitfall, I loved Pitfall, where you hopped, the crocodiles and stuff. But so this Christmas Day, and I don't know what game it came with. I think it came with a game. I just can't remember it. But the memorable game was Donkey Kong, okay? So we start playing Donkey Kong later that afternoon, and I keep playing, and I cannot reach Kong on the first level with all the barrels and everything. I just couldn't do it. Maybe because I'm 5 or 6 years of age, I'm not coordinated with joysticks and all that other stuff, but I was not figuring it out. My timing was bad. Then, my brother, first time he got on it to play, he gets to the Donkey Kong. I start crying. Oh, my brother, he made it to Donkey Kong! Why? Like it was a brotherly competition from day one. That should have spelt the truth about our relationship, that we were going to be at odds end for life. But I just remember I literally cried because my brother got to beat the first level before I could. And it's just so memorable that I cried. And my mother was telling me, it's okay, try again, this and that. And then I was like, no. I had this anger management inside me, that I wanted to throw things, or I've always had that little bit of anger type stuff for whatever reason. Maybe that's why I'm so big-hearted now, but, some of that scary stuff lies deep within a lot of people. But, yeah. Eventually, I got really good at it. I would try again the next day or whatever, and then I eventually, I didn't beat the game. I don't think I did. But I definitely was better than my brother. Oh, I think the game it came with, was it Pong? Was it Pong? Or was that another system? I don't know. But I do have memories of all those games. But that Donkey Kong situation is just a huge Christmas memory of mine, that I cried getting the gift, and then I cried because I couldn't beat the first level of Donkey Kong. Pretty. To me, that's just an amazing story. But like I said, it kind of showed my relationship with my brother, where early on he would beat me at things, and then I would get competitive, and then later in life I became an actor, found success. He didn't find any of that stuff, and then he probably got jealous or whatever. Just a lot of anger back and forth toward each other most of our life. And, that was kind of like the first time that I think about where, like, I don't know, we kind of knew we were going to go separate ways. But we're still trying to be together. And I had a very good conversation with my brother today. And we're going to try to see each other tomorrow for a few hours, and try to tell each other we love each other, and we're going to do our best to be there for each other, throughout all the trauma and the adversity, the addictions, and that's what Christmas is about, is continually trying to live the spirit, to feel the spirit, and reconnect with family, if even for that day. Because that's what I told my brother. I go, the times we're best together is when we're not together. But we need to have holiday relationships, where we love each other, and then we only see each other, every once in a while. That way we can't get mad at each other for the decisions each one of us either make, or the addictions or the struggles. But we could see each other on holidays to help each other feel less lonely, and to let them know, I still support you and I'm in your life, albeit for a shorter, like a little bit less than, normal. So I just beg each and every one of you, I know you have your own issues. Don't give up on people. Don't give up on them. But just find out what the best relationship for you to have with that person, good or bad, your parent or brother or sibling or ex-boyfriend or husband, or, or friend or whatever. Just find out the best way to keep that person in your heart. Hopefully, they didn't do you wrong, or you didn't do them too much wrong, where you guys can at least try to have that little bit of a connection on holidays. Don't give up on people. I guess that's my only advice. Now, my second story is another video game related. Now, I believe it's 1986. And Nintendo was just getting really popular around that time in the United States. So it was a Christmas time, and I told my dad and everybody that I wanted a Nintendo. And I opened up a gift. Well, it doesn't matter about my mother, but so I opened up a gift for me, and it was a Sega Master System. It wasn't a Nintendo. I was pissed off because I wanted a Nintendo. But I was, at this moment, grateful to have anything because my dad didn't work a lot. I was just starting to possibly dabble in acting. I was going into acting classes around this time. This is like 86, 87. When I was doing like a play at school or in junior high around that time. I don't know. What? I was probably 11 years old. I remember I really started acting a lot at 12. So, yeah, this is like right around that time. But I got a Sega Master System. And it came with a game. They were like these little cartridges. Not a cartridge. It was like a credit card. There were some games like a credit card. And I don't remember the game that came with it. It might have been Altered Beast, but that might have been the Genesis. Altered Beast might have been the Genesis later in life. But long story short, so I got like a game with the card, and it was like this little kid on the cover. Why can't I think of the name? But just long story short, I was upset that I didn't get a Nintendo, okay? But I got that Sega system, Master System, because, it was cheaper for my father to buy and to get, I don't know how much more cheaper. I should need to look up the prices. But it was apparently probably $50 cheaper for my dad to get it. And it came with that one game on the card. And I don't think my dad that year bought me any other games. But I had the greatest day of my life playing that Sega Master System, and I enjoyed that game so much. Around this time, we were also able to go rent games, like at the local video store. It might not have been Blockbuster, but they had like local mom and pop stores. And I just remember like they were open on that Christmas day, and I think we went to the store and I rented a couple of games for the Sega Master System, whatever they were around that time. God, I need to go back and look at some of those early games to remember them. But I really had a good time, and I really enjoyed the Sega Master System. So I kind of became a Sega fan. Yes, a year or so later, maybe 8 months later, I was acting. I did a job. I made a little bit of money. My dad allowed me to buy a Nintendo, and I had both. So that's how I grew up, with both. But then when Super Nintendo, I think, was coming out, I think Sega Genesis came out maybe 5 or 6 months before the Super Nintendo. I'm not exactly sure the timing. But I actually wanted the Sega Genesis more than the Super Nintendo. Even though I ended up loving the Nintendo at the end more than the Sega Master System, I just really enjoyed that weird Sega Master System with the red, and it was like a triangle shape or something. It was so weird. And it had the little card slots. But I remember the advertisement for Sega Genesis. Sega does what Nintendo don't. What Nintendo don't. And the Master System, the first 16-bit video game system on the planet. Sega Genesis. And then that had Altered Beast. That came with Altered Beast, and I loved that game, where the guy turns into a wolf and stuff like that, and he kicks and punches the people. And then on the Sega Genesis, they came out with the Michael Jackson Moonwalker game, and I was a part of that project, so I got that game. I ended up loving the Sega Genesis more than the Super Nintendo. I felt like the Sega Genesis was for my teenage self, and then even the Super Nintendo was still more kiddie-ish. But when I was a kid, I loved the Nintendo. I loved the games for the Nintendo. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Contra, I can't name them all. Metroid, Zelda, Super Mario Brothers. I enjoyed them all. So at the end of the day, my favorite system between the Master System and Nintendo, it did become the Nintendo. And then I did have the Super Nintendo later in life, and I had the Sega Genesis. And out of those two, my favorite was the Sega Genesis. And then I always wanted Turbo Graphics. You know, that looked really, really cool. And then when the Sony, what did I buy for the Genesis? I forgot the name of it. The CD drive that would go underneath the Sega Genesis. It was like a big square CD drive. And I bought games like Night Trap, Sewer Shark, and a few like that. And I loved, you know, the CD thing for the Sega Genesis, whatever it was called. I forgot the name of it. Mega CD, something like that. But I loved it. I loved the Sega Genesis as a whole better than the Super Nintendo. Then the PlayStation came out. I forgot what years. And boy, I fell in love with that game. I think I bought that system with Metal Gear Solid. I think that was the first game I bought with the PlayStation. And I turned off the lights and I was playing Metal Gear Solid in my room. And I'm like, he's like, they're coming after you. And you hear everything pulsing while you're hiding. And it felt like a movie. Then it had the split screens. I forgot the character's name. But hey, you know, hey, I'm coming after you. I don't know, it's like a movie. I called my dad into the room. I'm like, Dad, this is before he lost his sight officially. You know, where he went blind from glaucoma and cataracts. But I brought my dad into the room. And I was like, oh my God, watch this. And my dad knows about video games, but he wasn't really into it, you know, except for the Pac-Mans and stuff back in the days. And he would play Pong or that game with the little ball and the little square things on top. Bing, bing, bing. And the squares would disappear. But my dad goes, whoa, this is like James Bond. My dad goes, oh, it's like James Bond. You're James Bond. I go, no, I'm Solid Snake. He goes, huh? There's a solid snake in it? No, I go, I'm Solid Snake. He goes, what's that? I go, he's James Bond. Solid Snake is James Bond sneaking in. But he's like an assassin as well, but you don't kill people. And then the alert happened where they catch you and it goes, and the joystick would shake, so I put it in my dad's hand. I'm like, oh, check this out. And the joystick would vibrate. My dad. So these are my video games memories that did kind of happen on Christmas. The PlayStation, I don't remember if that happened on Christmas. It probably didn't when I bought it. But let's call it happened on Christmas for Christmas sake. So there's my video game Christmas stories. Let me know yours down below. Did you get a video game, a system? Is there an amazing memory associated with an arcade or a video game system on Christmas? Let me know. I'd really like to know that. Yeah, so there it is. And next week I'll come to you guys with another Christmas Day story. I'm sure I have a few more. I wrote down, I have a list. But, I mean, some Christmas movies are memorable for bad reasons. And I don't know if I should say those. So I'm trying to keep it positive nowadays. But hey. But again, more importantly, I want to end this with, and I love you guys. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for the support. And I hope this message finds you in good spirits, happy, healthy, as best as can be. I know the holidays are rough for a lot of people. Some people are in the hospital. Some people are going to lose family members. I just want everybody to take a deep breath and realize we're alive. Life is good. Every minute on this plane of existence is a good day. I know it's hard to think that way when there's a lot of trauma, a lot of stuff going on. But if we can all balance our chi and do what Bruce Lee says, be like water. Water still. Stay still. Be like water. Was that a good impression? I don't know. All right, everybody. But I might have showed this on another video, but somebody gave me an Indiana Jones stuff, and I'm looking at my Indiana Jones wall, and I appreciate everything. Got my indie hat. All right, everybody. I'm going to let you go for now. If there's any videos or stories you would like to hear from me for another story time, whether it be Christmas related or anything else, let me know your ideas down below, because sometimes I struggle for ideas. And more importantly, I love you. God bless you. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. And remember, hate can't hurt happy. Let's try to be happy. And then for my Christmas movie recommendations, last time I talked about Beach Street. And if you guys want to watch my top 10 favorite Christmas movies, I'll leave the link down below to that video. They have not changed in the previous years, but another Christmas movie that I want to recommend each and every one of you to watch besides Beach Street is Home Alone. But number two. Now, you know what? I'm going to change it up. It's not even on my Christmas list. Uncle Buck. It's a nice, heartwarming story about John, with the late, great John Candy and some kids. And I think this was before Home Alone. This is where John Hughes fell in love with Macaulay Culkin. And him and John Candy had a chemistry. And it was a fun movie. I just watched it the other day out of the nowhere. So, Uncle Buck. Check that movie out. But let me know some Christmas recommendations down below as well. Okay? Not the big movies that we all know. Some of the hidden gems that I might not have heard of. Please let me know on social media, in my DMs, or down here below. Okay? That being said, I love y'all. I meant everything I said. And now let's go look and see if there's some more drones. Ho, ho, ho! You'll shoot your eye out, kid.